Reset Podcast. And now your host, Jake Naraki.
What's going on, Reset Nation? Welcome back to Operation Self Reset. I am Jacob Naraki. Like always, thank you for listening to this podcast. It's all about believing, doing, and thriving in our life to get the most out of everything that we put our hands on, to not only our personal journey, but to the people that affect us, to our loved ones, to everything that we love and adore about this great world and about our lives. So with that being said, we have an awesome little interview today. His name is Jon Gordon. He has 10 books, 10. He has been in the personal development space for around 10 years, hence a book a year. And the guy is really powerful. He talks a lot about positivity. He has numerous books on all different types of subjects about leadership, teamwork, passion, your purpose, positive energy, performance, all different types of things. And the way I got in contact with Jon was through his book. And the book is called One Word That Will Change Your Life. If you have not read it already, I highly suggest it. The book is the message behind it is all about grasping onto one word for 365 days. Allowing yourself to grab onto one word, whatever it is for you. It might be love, healing, power, energy, courage, integrity, determination, completion, whatever it is. You can utilize that word for 365 days to get the most out of whatever you feel is necessary in your life. It's direct, it's to the point, it's simple, it's easy. It's something that everybody that reads that book gets, and that's why I love it. It's simple, it's precise. There isn't 100,000 ideas that are getting thrown at you at once or all these quotes and craziness. It's very precise, dense. I highly suggest it. So I contacted Jon. I was like, Jon, I love this book. I need you on the podcast. So luckily, Jon is a super busy guy. He travels around the country doing speaking engagements at, top tier corporations. He has also spoken to the Atlanta Falcons NFL team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. If I can talk today, see, I'm laughing. I can't even talk. But so needless to say, I'm just going to cut this short because I can't even say anything anymore. Here's an interview with Jon Gordon, and we're going to pick his brain about his books, his life, and his theory about positivity. Enjoy. I spoke of this before. One word that will change your life. Super inspiring. Lucky for me, at the end of the book, he gave some information on how to get in contact with Jon. Him and I connected, and here he is. Jon, truly, it's a pleasure to have you on here. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Jon, can you give people a background on how did you, currently you have around 6 or 7 books. Is that correct?
Actually, I just finished my 10th. It comes out.
Oh my gosh.
Next month, but yeah, 10 books.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you're doing the hustle for sure. How did you get started writing books? Give us a background on who you are and you kind of, how did you end up to where you are today?
Well, years ago, I was struggling in my early 30s. I was pretty negative. I was unhappy with my life. I was in sales during the .com. I had also owned some restaurants, and I really asked what I'm born to do. Why am I here? And writing and speaking kept on coming to me. I mean, I really never did it before, but it just came to me. And I thought about the books that I read that inspired me, and I realized I wanted to inspire others through writing. So literally, I just started doing it. I started a weekly newsletter where I would share a positive tip of the week. I've been doing it since 2002 now, and every week I write a new tip, and that tip would lead to then ideas for books, and people would read my tips and say, you should write a book. And then I wrote 2 books that were more how-to books, and they did okay. I mean, I got on the Today Show, and they did okay, but it was really when I wrote The Energy Bus, when I wrote a fable that I found my voice, and then The Energy Bus has got on to reach a lot of people. It was an international bestseller in Korea, actually a huge hit there. Now it's almost sold almost 1 million copies.
Wow!
And that has really spurred me to write all these other books that I write, and again, new ideas just come, and I write new things and new ideas, but it really started with that one question: why am I here?
Yeah, and let's dive into that. And one of the specific books that kind of is geared towards, finding your passion and purpose is The Seed, correct?
Yes, it is.
If you wouldn't mind walking us through, how first of all, how did you find that? I mean, did you just start questioning yourself? Was it because of the books you read early on? It allowed you to get that mindset of kind of really doing that self-talk and understanding yourself and understanding where your beliefs came from, and then kind of dissecting from there that led you to the path you're on now?
I believe that we are who we are because of the books that we read, the people we meet, the teachers we encounter, and the people we surround ourselves with. So yes, the books that I read over the years had a big impact on me. I mean, I remember reading Richard Bach's, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, Illusions, stories like that, Ken Blanchard's 1 Minute Manager, Who Moved My Cheese. Different books like that had an impact on me over the years. So definitely books have had a huge impact, and I love books. But I really believe that the journey of writing helped me also become who I'm meant to be. So as I've been writing each book, it's almost been like I've had to live it as well.
Yeah, sure. And, let's talk about how, because this podcast is for the people that are listening. They're wanting to change their lives. They're looking for a new direction, a new path in their current situation that they're going down. They don't like it. They want to change something about it. Do you have I know you made a whole book about it, but do you have like 1 or 2 tips for somebody that has those same questions that you had, and a way to discover it, or at least a way to get in a direction to uncover those feelings and those intuitions of the new path that they should go on?
Sure. Well, in The Seed, it's about a 27-year-old named Josh who goes on a journey to find his purpose. He meets this farmer who gives him a seed and says, find out where to plant the seed, and your purpose will be revealed to you, because he's lost his passion in his job. He wants to find a new passion. He wants to find his purpose. So he goes on this journey with his dog, and he goes back to college where he thinks, when did I have a great time? And so it's college. Then he goes back to, working in a restaurant when he was young and the lessons he learned there. Ultimately, the journey takes him to the point where he realizes that you have to plant yourself where you are. And once you decide to plant yourself where you are, with the desire to serve and make a difference, you'll grow into the leader you're meant to be. So wherever you are in your job, for instance, it may not be your dream job, but you work at it in such a way that you're there to learn, you're there to improve, you're there to grow, and you're there to take something from it. And I believe when you do that, when you bring your passion and purpose to where you are right now, what happens is a greater purpose starts to move through you. And then from there, you ultimately will start finding your purpose. And so we have to live with passion and purpose to ultimately find our purpose.
Yeah.
Because then we become a conduit for the purpose that wants to move through us. You're not going to find your purpose just waiting around saying, where is it? You're going to find your purpose by living and working and seeking. And it's a journey. So the journey to find your purpose is not a straight line. But I really believe if we're open to it and we say, okay, God, what's my purpose? And I also came to a point spiritually where I realized, I was writing this book and I didn't want to include God because I know there are some people that, are not that. And then I realized,
Sure.
You know what? I realized, wait a second, you were created for a purpose, that you are here for a purpose. And if the fact that you're searching for a purpose, it means that there's a purpose to be found, or else why would we be feeling like there's a purpose, right?
Right.
You could be here by accident. There would be no reason. And then there would be no purpose to the universe. So I believe there's a purpose to the universe. There's a purpose for you. You're here to do something special and meaningful. And God has a plan for you. And once you are open to that, say, okay, God, what is my purpose? God will start to reveal your purpose through you, because God created you to do something special. And so it's this relationship between you and God when you start working together to do this work and to be open. And I also believe there are these signs that if you're open to it, you say, okay, show me the signs. That was my big thing. I would say, God, show me the signs. I know I'm here for a reason. What are those signs? Show them to me. And sure enough, I would literally get different signs along the way that helped guide me on my journey.
Yeah. And it's funny, the first part you said, you just kind of plant yourself where you are. And I think, and I even speak of it too, when you say, find your passion, everything like that, it's, go out and experience different things. A lot of people like to pick up from where they are in whatever city or state and move to a different city and state and feel like, oh, this is where I'm going to find my golden ticket or whatever, what have you. So you're saying though, wherever you are at, make it your passion, and from there you will grow into something bigger, and the signs will show up, doors will unlock, and you'll start creating and finding your new passion without needing to find a new job, a new career, moving cities.
Right. Unless you feel like the signs are telling you need to move somewhere. So if you do need to move somewhere, great, you go there. But then when you move there and you take on a job there, then you plant yourself right there. So wherever you decide to leave and then plant yourself, then you give everything you have to that job. You work with passion and purpose. Use that job as a vehicle to live your purpose. Because think about it, every job will get old and mundane if you let it. I mean, even Major League Baseball players have to really find the passion every day to go out and play a game every single day.
Right.
And as a writer and speaker, people think my job is so glamorous, but you're on planes a lot, you're in hotels a lot, and you can quickly forget your purpose when you're doing that. So I have to remind myself often, like, my purpose is to inspire and empower as many people as possible, one person at a time. And I have to focus on that. I have to remember that. I have to remind myself. So whatever job you're doing, if you're digging ditches, if you're an attorney, if you're a waiter, if you're in advertising and you're creative and you're doing some type of creative work, use that job as a vehicle to share a greater purpose. It's like, I want to make a difference here. I want to lift others up here. I want to have an impact here. And when you start to do that, it's amazing how new opportunities will come your way. Because what I say is, eventually you grow, and then what happens is someone will call on you, or you'll receive an offer that will cause you to plant yourself somewhere else. So you actually plant yourself where you are until you outgrow that, and you'll know when it's time to move on, and then you replant yourself in a bigger field.
Yeah. And it's funny because truly I speak on this all the time in the podcast. And the reason I started this podcast was because I kind of want to be like yourself. I want to be a motivational speaker. I'm writing my first book. I feel my purpose is to go out and inspire others, just like yourself, And it's funny because when I think of that, I'm like, oh, I can't wait. But, to hear it from you, it's like, it's not always that glamorous because you're traveling a lot. You're away from family and friends, and, you're always gone. And it's funny because in the moment when you're looking ahead, and you're thinking how glamorous it's going to be, or that baseball player, or when you make that job, or whatever it may be, you think of the benefits, but there are struggles during that time too, because you get worn down, and you just got to think of the greater purpose. And I think that's a great point you hit upon. So, going off of that greater purpose and feeling that energy, you speak of positivity a lot in almost all of your books. Wouldn't you say you bring positivity in some shape or form to kind of propel the book and your stories and your speeches into that next level?
Very much so. Positivity, I would say, is my core message of my purpose of what I'm here to share. It really is about a decision to choose to be positive, to feed that positive inside you, knowing that being positive not only makes you better, it makes everyone around you better. That being positive helps you become a better person, a better leader, a father, a better mother, a better anything in what you're here to do.
Yeah. And how can somebody change their positivity around from having that negative mindset, feeling like, everything's falling down around me. I just lost my job. My girlfriend broke up with me. How the heck can I be positive when all this stuff is collapsing around me? What do you say to that type of person?
I say it's about our perspective. It's about choosing to be positive. We can all choose our attitude. We have that power. And so is it a challenge or is it an opportunity to learn, to grow, to improve, to get better? When you face change, do you focus on fear or do you focus on faith? If it's an obstacle, is it a learning experience? Loss, L-O-S-S. You might have lost a job, might have lost a client, might have lost a game, but LOSS stands for learning, opportunity, stay strong. So it's about our perspective. And the best advice I ever heard, I wrote about this in my new book, The Carpenter. It's from a guy named Dr. James Gills. He's the only person on the planet to complete 6 double Ironman triathlons. Wow. And so I asked him how he did it. I mean, 6 double Ironmans. Last time he did, he was 59 years old. Oh, man. He said, I have learned to talk to myself instead of listen to myself. He said, if I listen to myself, I hear all the negative, all the fear, all the doubt, and all the complaints. But if I talk to myself, I can feed myself with the words and the encouragement that I need to keep on moving forward, to keep on running this race. And that's what we need to do. We need to talk to ourselves. We need to overcome the negativity. We need to know that our positive energy must be greater than anyone's negativity, that our certainty, our belief in what we're here to do and the difference we're here to make must be greater than all the doubt. Let's face it, you start writing and speaking, right? You're going to have critics. You're going to have people tell you that you can't do it.
Yes.
You have to go out there and believe you can. I had so many rejections. I had 30-something rejections for the Energy Bus, telling me that it wasn't good enough. I had people telling me I wasn't going to make it as a speaker, that I wasn't good enough. Early on, I wasn't very good, but people saw where I was, not what I could be. And so you have to have that faith as you move forward. And it's a big theme in my work because so many of us are limited by what people say about us. But I've learned not to let someone else define me. I have learned to basically let God refine me into who I am meant to be, not what someone else says I am.
Yeah. Yeah. I what you said is very, very true. And, positivity can really propel you into that next level, and going to be a positive individual. You need to do you believe leading yourself is key before you can start leading others? You speak of leadership too, and leadership is a hot topic. Either you got to lead small groups before you can start to become a CEO and kind of work your way up the chain of a promotional within a business or corporation. But do you feel though you need to lead yourself before you can start leading others?
Oh, very much so. I mean, a lot of my talks, 99% of my talks are probably on leadership. That is first and foremost what I speak about.
Okay.
And so, yes, in terms of leadership, and my book Soup is probably my best book on leadership, it's all about first you being the driver of your bus, you deciding the ride it's going to be. That's the energy bus, of course. You taking the wheel and making decisions that allow you to be your best. Because if you're not your best, you can't bring out the best in others. Your constraints will catch up to you if you let them. Look at Donald Sterling from the Clippers, right? Here's a guy who had a lot of issues. Is he a leader? I don't consider him a leader.
Right.
He might have the position of owner, but he's not a leader. He's not making people better around him. He doesn't have the thoughts of inclusion and helping people be their best. And so to me, you want to be a better leader, be a better you. Lead yourself. Then you will be better able to lead others.
Yeah. And what do you say to somebody that comes up to you and is like, God, man, your stuff is right on, but I just don't feel like I have the qualities of it. I'm bashful, I'm shy, I don't have that confidence. Do you believe that individuals are able to create that leader within? And if so, what's one or two tips you have for them to get themselves in that leadership mindset?
Well, if you study history and you see some of our great leaders, it wasn't like they were preparing to be a leader from day one.
True,
many of them had obstacles. Many of them didn't think of themselves as leaders. But history propelled them into a position where they had to lead. And so I truly believe that leadership is something that we develop. It's something we learn. It's something we can improve upon. It is a skill. I believe there are some that are naturally better leaders than others, just as there are better basketball players than others, or better football players, right, or better musicians. Some have the natural gift, but it is something you can definitely learn and grow to be a better leader. And if you're shy, that's okay, because many great leaders are actually introverts. A lot of research showing that many of the leaders are introverts, and even though they're introverted, they find ways to overcome it to lead others.
Interesting. I never knew that. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, great book by Susan Cain.
Okay. And going off of the leadership and to be a leader, it kind of starts with once you're in that leadership position, you surround yourself with other people. It's either in the new mentality. It doesn't matter if you work at Target, we're a team. It's all that team atmosphere. Or Home Depot or whatever. It's that team mantra. Surrounding yourself with the correct individuals will help you succeed in your life, personally, business life, everything like that. Do you mind going into how teamwork can really propel you in a better direction?
Right. Well, first, if you want to have a great team, the first key is to be a great teammate.
Yeah, true.
So, the first starts with you. What can you do to be a great teammate? And that's what you should think first and foremost about. So that includes being positively contagious with your energy, not being an energy vampire that sabotages people. It includes great communication. It includes being someone who is connected to others, that really gets to know people and is open to being a friend and to being someone that your team could talk to. It's about being committed. It's about being selfless and putting the team first. I believe you have to work as hard to be a great teammate as you do to be a great leader in person. And I also believe that your team doesn't care if you're a superstar, they care if you're a super teammate. And so first and foremost, be a great teammate. And then one final thing is to care. If you really care about your team and you care about the work you do and you care about what you're doing for your team, they'll know it. And that will make you a great teammate just by caring.
Yeah. And, talking about that positivity and keeping that energy level up, before you and I started recording this podcast, you've been on the road, your voice is kind of tore up, you're drinking water and honey, you're trying to recharge yourself. How do you personally keep your energy levels up? How do you keep yourself positive, even though you feel worn down and beaten down?
Well, yeah, I've been on the road a lot. My voice is all scratchy. I've been speaking so much. the last thing I want to do is this podcast because I've been through so much.
Sure.
And, yeah, I'm being very honest.
Yeah, that's all right.
But then I think, this is an opportunity to talk to you, to share with you, to make an impact on those who are listening. Maybe I say one thing that has an impact on someone listening today. And that's what keeps me going. I often say everything we do will get old and mundane, but purpose is what keeps it fresh. So for me, the greatest way to increase your energy and to increase your positivity is to fuel up with purpose. Because there are going to be days you don't feel energetic. There are going to be days that you don't feel very positive, but your purpose gives you the energy and the positivity to take on the challenges.
Awesome. That's good. That's very true, too. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And to kind of wrap this podcast up before we go into the final question, I know you have spoken to professional athletic teams like the Atlanta Falcons, the Jacksonville Jaguars. What do you say to them? I mean, those are the elite athletes of the elite. I'm a huge NFL fan. What are they lacking, and how am I similar to an elite athlete?
Well, I speak to not only the NFL teams, but NBA teams. And then the other day I just spoke to the Major League Baseball Pittsburgh Pirates.
Nice.
And so, yes, originally when I first started speaking to them and was asked to speak because, the coaches read my books and shared them with the team, I thought, what can I say that they haven't heard before?
Right.
Same question. And then I wondered, these are the best of the best. What do they need to hear? Right. Same thing that you thought. But then I realized they're human beings. They all suffer with stress and busyness and challenges and adversity, and they get down on themselves sometimes. So, for instance, I talk to them about talking to themselves instead of listening to themselves. They love that one. I talk to them about how to build a great team and be a great teammate. I talk to them about the importance of attitude and the research and the science behind it. I talk about how to stay positive through challenges. I talk about excellence and what excellence truly means and what the best do better than everyone else. That's my book, Training Camp, and it's my favorite book. I heard from Damian Lillard this past summer, and he told me how he read Training Camp twice before his NBA rookie season. I mean, now he's a star in the league, and here he was reading Training Camp before his rookie season to remind himself how hard he would have to work in the NBA to be his best, because people think they just get that way. And then when you realize talking to them, Damian told me how hard he had to work to get to where he is. And you realize that a book like Training Camp helped him. So I'm just honored that they would actually read my book in the first place. But I'm more excited than ever that it actually helps them be all that they're meant to be. And you, the same thing. When you read it, it will help you be all that you're meant to be. And that's why I write. I write because I want to impact others, inspire others. And seeing professional athletes get better, seeing moms get better, and everyday entrepreneurs get better, that's what's exciting to me.
Oh, for sure. And personal question, did you get a little nervous when they asked you to present in front of these top-tier athletes? When
I first spoke to my first team, the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2007, I was terrified. And then 2008 was the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
And then I spoke to the Atlanta Falcons the last 6 years in a row, and then spoke to the Clemson football team twice. So
cool.
When it came time for the Pittsburgh Pirates, this training camp a few months ago, I was actually just fired up to do it and excited to share. And so you start to get an understanding of what they need to hear. And so then now it's a little less nervousness, but more excitement to share. But before every speech, I still get nervous, no doubt about it. And it doesn't matter who I'm speaking to, but I'm always glad that I speak to the NFL players that they're actually sitting down, because I'm only 5'9". They're very big guys.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, beast. No doubt about it. And last question, what does a self-reset mean to you?
A self-reset means that if you allow the busyness and stress to take over your life, you will be acting out of the reptilian part of your brain, the fear part of your brain. And so you'll just be going through the day trying to survive, just as a reptile does. A reptile is not capable of love. But to override the reptile, to override the busyness and stress, we have to reset, and we have to focus on what matters most. And we have to activate the part of our brain, which is the part of love and gratitude and rational decision-making and prayer. And we activate that part, and meditation, same thing. And we activate that part of the brain. We're able to override the stress part, the reptilian part. So resetting to me is to slowing down, taking a deep breath, and saying, what matters most? What do I stand for? And what actions am I going to take today to intentionally be who I want to be tomorrow?
Awesome. That's really well said. I like that. Well, John, I appreciate everything you have done. Thanks for coming on the podcast, even though you're worn out. How can people get in contact with you and your books?
Sure, they can visit me at johngordon.com, JONGordon.com. I'm on Twitter at JONGordon11. And then I have a weekly positive tip I send out every week, and they can sign up for that. It's free, and it's on my website as well.
Cool. John, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thanks again to John Gordon. If you guys are interested, make sure to head on over to Amazon or even the World Wide Web and look up John Gordon. He has some pretty powerful stuff. I think it'll get you in a good mindset. You know, positivity is something that we all need. It's something that we all crave and we want that energy. And I think the best question I asked there was, you know, how do you keep motivated? How do you keep yourself pumped up and energized? It's the reason why you're doing it. You know, and I think that really applies to myself that, you know, there's times I get on this microphone and I really don't feel like talking. I really don't feel that enthusiastic. But I realize why I'm doing it, because I know that somebody that's listening to my voice in their ears, going through their headphones into their brain, is enjoying this, is benefiting from it. So that's why every single day I bring the passion, I bring the motivation, I bring the inspiration, and I bring my A game because I know somebody will benefit from this. So with that being said, thank you again, like always, for listening to Operation Self Reset. If you have not already, please head on over to iTunes, leave a review. It'd be greatly appreciated. You can even leave a review from your iPhone or Android phone. I know, it's crazy. So if you could do that for me, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Also, head on over to osreset.com, and about midway down on the homepage, I have a toolbox for you. Toolbox with 6 high-quality PDF files to get your life back on track. Toolbox will include everything from an ebook to quotes to apps you need to have on your phone, transforming tips, how to find your passion, all different types of stuff. It's all free. I know, it's almost too good to be true. It is actually too good to be true. People told me, don't give it away for free. Charge these people like $10,000. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm not in it for the money. I'm going to give it away for free. I'm kidding. Nobody ever said charge $10,000. But I think that's the value of it. Why do I think it's $10,000 worth of information? Well, because I put it together, and that's what I'm going off of. I don't know. I'm just going to make it so high value you feel obligated to buy it. So $10,000, all free. Head on over to osreset.com. Halfway down, fill in your name and email address. And also let me know what you think of the new website design. I got that completed by Sasha Juilliard. He's in Colorado. He did some amazing work to that website. I'm very, very proud of it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's easy for you to navigate and you feel inspired and motivated when you get to that bad boy. So thank you. Again, I keep on saying thank you. I don't even know if there's a better word than thank you. Maybe I'm going to have to start learning different languages on how to say thank you. Quick little story. When we were in Mexico, oh man, it was probably like 4 or 5 years ago now. Every night before they open the buffet, because they have a buffet every night, but then they also have like specialty restaurants, you know, Asian steak, you know, Brazilian foods, whatever. Every night before they opened the buffet, there was a gentleman there that said, welcome, in like all of the languages. And I forget how many languages there are in the world, but it took him literally 2 to 3 minutes just saying welcome in different languages. And talk about job security. I'm pretty sure that guy's locked in for a long-term deal, because that is a talent that is tough to find. And also too, he pronounced each welcome so crisp, you knew it was different from the last one. So he was very, very good. So welcome. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying welcome for. But either way, thank you so much. We'll catch you next week, Wednesday, for another Operation Self Reset podcast. And also stay tuned to Mondays, Motivational Minute Mondays, to get your week back on track. You guys are seriously the coolest people I know right now. And if you want to get in contact with me, if you just want to say hi, you want to say bye, you want to say welcome, you want to say hello, you want to say thank you, whatever you want to say, send me an email, ask@osreset.com. It would be greatly appreciated, and it's always fun to connect with cool people like yourselves. Enjoy the week. Make it a great week. We will catch you next week, Wednesday, for another episode of the Operation Self Reset podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Operation Self Reset podcast. Find out more ways to reset at www.osreset.com.